Hi, this is John from portablefreewaregames.com, and I'm not here to introduce a game. I'm here to talk you through how to make an animated 3D text intro for YouTube using the animation program Blender. Now I've got an example of what we're going to be making here, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. And if you like what you see and you want to learn how to do it, then please continue watching the video. And if you don't like it, then there's no point watching the video any further. So here we go. This is the example. And if you like what you see and you want to be able to do it for yourself, please continue watching this video. Blender's a free program. It's free and it's open source, and it's available for Blender from blender.org. And this is the latest version here, 2.71. You just click anywhere and that will remove the splash screen. At this point I would like to encourage you to get a mouse with a scroll wheel on it, because you use the scroll wheel quite a lot in Blender. It makes your life an awful lot easier than having to type things in manually all the time. So we'll carry on then. First we're going to delete these three objects, this cube in the middle, this light source up here, and this camera. We don't need any of them. So to select something in Blender, you right click it, and then you get an orange circle around about it, or an orange shape outline, and then type X, and that gives you the option to delete. Right click, X, delete, right click, X, delete. Now I want you to move your cursor about 3/4 of the way up the grid to get to there, and you go down to the bottom left hand corner here, click add text, and leave it at that. Now we're going to be using some of these things in the properties window. The first one we're going to go into is the world, which is this wee blue circle here. You click on that, and the only thing we're going to be changing in here is the horizon colour. This is basically the background colour to your project. So click on that, and you can choose any colour you like. You can see it's got this colour ball here. You can choose anything you like, or you've got a black to white grayscale here. I prefer grey, a very light grey, almost white, for my backgrounds, and that's it. And you scroll along a wee bit further to the F button, the F for font. This controls all your fonts, and you want to scroll down here until you come to extrude. When you go in there and delete that and put in 0.35, and that gives your text a bit of depth. And scroll down again until you come to your fonts regular. Click on that wee folder, and that will allow you to browse Windows looking for new fonts. In Windows the default location is Windows Fonts, and that's it. And I'm going to use this one here, Bauhaus 93.ttf. And then the last function we're going to be using in this properties plane is this one here, the wee orange and black box, is materials. You click on that, you click on new, and this is to decide what colour your project's going to be, whatever it is you make. You click on the diffuse, the wee white bar underneath the diffuse, and scroll over to any colour you like. I like mine to be nice and blue, so I'm going to go with blue. You can have anything you like. Now then, back to this text object. As you can see, it's already coloured in, and it's already got 3 dimensions to it. Now you want to type R, and then X, and then type in the number 90, and that will rotate your text to 90 degrees. Hit enter. Now you've got one text object. You might only need one text object, or you might need more than one. Personally, I'm going to use 3. So I'll show you how to duplicate this. I find it easier to duplicate what's already there than to type in a new text object and then select the colour and select the font and select the size and whatever. I just select one and then duplicate it. So while that's highlighted, Shift and D will duplicate it. Again, Shift and D will duplicate it. So now I've got 3 text objects, right? And this one at the front here, this closest one, is highlighted. You can see the orange lines around about it. So I'm going to hit the tab button, and that changes it from object mode into edit mode, where you can edit the text. And I'm going to put portable freeware games, and hit the tab button again. I want to manoeuvre this right in the centre of the screen. So that's about centre. That's about centre. And I want it to be right in the middle of this grid. I want this grid to actually run through it. That's it. Okay, the next text object, again just highlight it by clicking right on it once, and click the tab button, and then I want www dot and then tab button to manoeuvre it again. That's where I want it. And last but not least, the last text, highlight it, hit the tab button, backspace, and I want this to say .com. And this is going to go underneath the main part of this text. So hit tab button again to turn it into object mode to move it. And move it along there. And that's it, that's looking not too bad. Let's move it in a wee bit. It's looking not too bad at all. Okay, now I want to add a light source. So go to the bottom left hand corner here and click add lamp point. And I want this light point to be in the middle. In the middle point of my text, but back a wee bit. Back about halfway towards the end of the grid. That's about it. I also want this to be right in the middle of the grid. So that's looking good. And further back again, click add camera. It doesn't really matter what position you put the camera in, because we're going to do something in a minute that locks it into exactly the right place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split this screen into two. You do this by clicking on this wee triangle up here, holding down the button and dragging it over to the side. And now I've got two views exactly the same. Both of them are exactly the same, and you can, whatever you do in one is reflected in the other. So I'm going to click on this, and the one on the right I'm going to have view, camera. It's a camera view. No, I don't. What I want is one head long view, and then Control Alt and then 0, and that locks the camera into that position there. Now we're going to leave that one on the right, but we're going to manipulate the camera position on the right, on the left. Let's have a look. I want to come in a bit closer. As you can see, as I move the camera in closer to the right and on the left, and that's reflected on the right. That actually looks not too bad where it is. So I'm going to put this back into one screen again. And to do that, you click on the same wee triangle you did before, hold it down, and drag it back to it covers up the other triangle. Now you want to select view, camera, and that's everything the camera sees inside that rectangle. And I'm going to zoom out a wee bit. And you want to click up here, this I button, and then you go down to timeline, and you right click it once, flip to top, select that, and you go into this again, timeline, left click it this time, and you can drag it down from the roof to the top of the screen. This is your timeline up here. And basically whatever you set up in the timeline, I like to make a marker every 25 frames or so, and Blender will fill in the rest. You move something to a certain point and Blender will fill it in and make the animation possible. If you don't understand what I mean, I'll show you right now. So I'm going to right click on Portable Freeware Games, and I move that outside the camera view. Click on www, move it outside the camera view. click on .com, move it outside the camera view. That's pretty much where I want my first view to be. So to select a point in time, you click I, and then down to this one here, visual lock rot scale. What it means is visual location rotation scale, and you're going to select that. So on the time frame, 0 is selected right now. This is the starting point, 0. So I'm going to click on that, and that's going to be my first image. And I'm going to move along to 25. Blender animates animations at about 24 frames per second. So if you just count it as 25 frames per second, it's easy enough to work out. So the first second into the animation, I want the tip of this here just to show and no more. And then I, a visual lock rot scale. And then for 50, click on 50. I want to move the entire portable freeware games into the screen. And then I, visual lock rot scale. For 75, I want just the tip of www to be seen. So I, visual lock rot scale. Onto 100, I want the www to be fully visible and in position. So that's I again, visual lock rot scale. 125, I want the .com just to be visible and no more. I, visual lock rot scale. And 150, I want it all in view. I, visual lock rot scale. Now up here it shows you the start equals 1 and end equals 250. 250 frames in about 10 seconds. I only want this to last about 8. So as you can see, my last animation is at 150, and I want it to stay in that position for 2 seconds, which is 50 frames. So I want to change this 250 here to 200, and I want to run a practice run to see if it's any good or not. No, you go back to 0. This happens sometimes. You go back to 0 again and scroll out. That there, portable freeware games, because it had scrolled in a wee bit, and the www had edged its way in as well. Right, now that they're both out of the screen, I, visual lock rot scale. Let's see if it works this time. That's about it. No. Again, that has happened again. Visual lock rot's back a bit. That's it. And then click on I, visual lock rot scale. Okay, let's see how this goes. That's it. That's exactly it. That's what I wanted. So all we have to do now is render our project. It's easy enough. You go over this wee panel over here in the properties, click on the camera, and you want to scroll down a wee bit. You make a couple of changes. You click on this wee folder here, the output folder. By default, Blender will output to a temporary folder. I don't want that. I want it on my desktop. So click on that. Click on desktop. Click accept. And now it's going to output to my desktop, and over here it's what kind of file it wants to output to. By default, it wants to output to PNG files, portable network graphic files, images. I don't want that. I want an AVI file. There's AVI raw. Select that. That's us about ready to rock and roll. All you have to do now is press this animation button, and Blender will start to animate it. Now is as good a time as any to explain to you that I am not a Blender expert, and I'm not a guru. Please don't contact me with looking to get help with Blender, because I really don't know. I'm just a guy who's decided to teach himself Blender and animation over the summer, and as I learn stuff, I'll post videos onto YouTube so you can learn as well. But this is it. This is about as much as I know right now. Blender takes a wee while to render these files. It tells you up here, as you can see, start 1, end 200, so it's got 200 frames, and right beside it, it tells you how many frames it's processed at this particular time. That's 31, 32, 33. So we've got a wee wait here, just to it renders, but not too long, thank God. I think I'll just skip this forward to the end of the rendering, just to save time. So normally I would have to let this run through, but because I'm recording it and I can delete part of the video, I'll just jump from 56 right up to 200. And here we are, 195, we're almost finished now. Just a few more seconds. And that's us finished. If we minimise this, here we have on the desktop the video file I've just made. Let's double click this. And there it's there. And that concludes this tutorial. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you subscribe. Thanks for watching.